Hey, what it do, what it do, what it do? This is your boy, once again, KQKC Boxing Network. And you have to excuse my voice, a little hoarse this morning, but that's okay. The show must go on. This is another edition of Boxing Updates. First of all, I want to thank all my supporters. I want to thank all my subscribers. Because you all been showing up and showing out. You all been hitting the like button like you're supposed to. And I thank you. I thank you. And I thank all my new subscribers. You all been doing great. Thank you for subscribing to the network. Now, let's get into the video. Kellen Plant versus David Benavidez is no more. No, that fight came close, but Kellen Plant declined to take the fight. Now, of course, Jose Benavidez Sr. has revealed that Kellen Plant declined the fight with his son, or David Benavidez. And that supposed to took place in September. Now, after the trash talking and the highly ranked number one WBC super middleweight contender, David Benavidez, who is 25-0 with 22 KOs, and Plant turned around and backed out. Now, Jose Sr. said that they reached out to Team Plant and they declined to fight David Benavidez. He took Kellen Plant less than a day. It took Kellen Plant less than a day to turn down the fight with David Benavidez after talking a whole lot of mess on social media. Now, people, let me stop right there for a minute. This is no surprise. And I'm not talking with or about David Benavidez. I'm talking to all fighters. Right now, I'm talking to all fighters, all weight classes, all fighters that lace them up right now. Now, I am 55 years of age. Trust me when I say fighters from yesteryears or throwback fighters, whatever you want to call them, if someone calls you out, if they call you out in the middle of the ring, and in today's society on social media, you don't back out. You don't cower out. You sit there and you take the challenge. Even though you might be scared to fight him or scared to lose a fight against him. Or who knows, maybe Kellen Plant scared to lose two in a row. Because keep in mind, Kellen Plant did fight Canelo Alvarez and lost. Now, could this be the beginning of a not letting your hands go saga, a la Adrian Broner? Or maybe, just maybe, he might have a better offer somewhere else. Now, we have to judge that ourselves. But don't get on social media and say everything that you have said. And you turn around and be a coward. Yes, I said coward. I don't care if it don't make sense. You know the old phrase, if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. It's all good long as it makes sense I get all that. But you gotta find a line. You gotta find a fine line, like they say, between love and hate. See, if you love boxing, you will go in there and accept the fight, then work on the terms. Or you have great intentions of accepting the fight, work on the terms, and then, in good faith, sign a contract. Now, it can work both ways. So, therefore, Dave Benavidez pretty much declined the fight. Calvin Plant decided not to fight Dave Benavidez. Now, let's go on and let's see what was the problem. Keep that in mind, because remember, Calvin Plant had less than a day to turn down the fight with Dave Benavidez after talking a whole lot of mess. And like I said, in today's society, they go to social media. Plant shot himself in the foot by turning down the fight with Dave Benavidez, because the boxing world is going to take notice of this and view it as a duck job by Calvin Plant. It don't get no worse than this, people. Yes, a duck job. See, Plant is now expected to fight 37-year-old former Benavidez knockout victim Anthony TERRE next. That's a poor choice of opponent. Anthony TERRE, hey, I like the guy. He's from right next door to Chicago. He's from Michigan. He's a great fighter. Him and his brother. They both are great fighters on the tutelage of a great trainer. But, oh yeah, it's a but. But Anthony TERRE is a shot fighter. His great days and his good days are behind him. Now, once again, I repeat, that was a pure choice of opponent, as TERRE is over the hill and not the fighter that he once was. We're talking about 10 plus years ago when he was in his prime. Hello? Somebody talk to me out there. Anthony TERRE looked terrible losing to Benavidez and struggling to beat TERRE in 2019. Yes, this is the same TERRE that Canelo Alvarez obliterated in 3 rounds last year. In February, if I'm not mistaken. TERRE having to struggle to beat TERRE shows how washed he is at 37 years of age. Now, some 37-year-olds that doesn't go through wars, hasn't been very active, maybe had a lot left at 37, but not Anthony TERRE. We all know the wars he had with Sakabika. Now, it looks weak on Plant's part to decline the fight with Benavidez after talking trash on social media. In other words, talking shit. All right? I'm trying to keep it clean, but here, how can you keep it clean when you got a fighter who needs to fight somebody besides sitting there on his chair, on his stoop, by the phone, waiting on Canelo to call? That's how him, Demetrius Andrade, and yes, one of my favorite fighters, Jamal Charlo, they're all sitting there waiting, goddamn it, on a call. when they can make the legacy for their own damn self. How many times we have to keep saying this shit? Huh? How many times? God damn. We're going to talk about this too today. Man, now, let me get back into this. Now, this is a disappointment news because there were a lot of boxing fans that wanted to see the former IBF 168-pound Plant, who is 21 now and won with 12 KOs. He could have been 22 and 0 with 12 knockouts if he was powerful and more elusive and had a better game plan to beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has slow feet. He's short. Arms are short. And he definitely is beatable. And he knows that. His trainer knows that. That's why they don't fight the big guys. That's why they don't fight a lot of African American fighters now. Because we are slick. We are faster. And we make you miss and definitely make you pay. Now, of course, we know the strength. Some are good, some are bad. But if you don't have the strength, you can pretty much substitute that with great lateral movement. Pop shot him all day like Floyd did at the age of 38. Do you feel what I'm saying? Boxing updates. We're going to give you the straight talk. Boxing updates. Don't hold back. Boxing update. Tell you just like it is. With Plant coming off a 11th round knockout loss to Mr. Canelo. That was back in November. He needed this fight with David Benavidez more than the other way around. This was his get back rejuvenated in the groove fight. This is the fight where he can find his groove back. Just like I always say, like Stella. Remember Stella trying to get her groove back? Well, this is David trying to get his groove back. But he declined to get it. Now, this is the question I have to ask you people that's listening today. Is this a start of David going a la Adrian Broner way? Is this a sign of David Benavidez don't want to get in there with somebody and mix it up with somebody with great competition like a Calvin Plant? This could have been one of the best fights of your career, along with Andrade or a Charlo. You had 168. Charlo can't make 160 no more. I know that for a fact. So, therefore, we will continue on with this conversation. We will continue on about this decline by Team Calvin Plant. Team Calvin Plant has their reasons, and they're saying everything right. They're saying everything good, but the right thing. Now, it's unclear why it bothered Plant that David Benavidez would be looking to schedule a fight before his match against Lemieux. After all, the 33-year-old Lemieux is viewed as easy work for David Benavidez. So, in hindsight, Benavidez had to know that Plant would never fight him, particularly now, with him coming off of an 11-round knockout loss to Canelo Alvarez. There you go. See, David, he kind of knew, because he lost to Canelo. He lost big. And yes, you're not going to take a back-to-back hard fight. So, Samson, I would pretty much talk to him today. I talked to him last night as he was celebrating his son's 41st birthday. And we talked just briefly because he was out having a good time. And we talked about De La Sota and his win, how he came off a loss and came back and pretty much proved to everybody that he shook that shit off and got back in there. Oh yeah, we talked. Yes, Samson is my guy. So, therefore, I will be talking with him before I come on today. That way I can give you some news on David Benavidez. And did they know that Kellen Plant didn't want to fight or didn't want the fight? Or maybe it's not enough money. Now, I'm going to hold off before I say he's pretty much a duck. Before I hear from the promoter of David Benavidez, De La Soto, Fortuna. I can go on. Rosario, Jason Rosario. I can go on and on. But one thing I can say, David Benavidez is starting to look more and more like a boogeyman. And Kellen Plant is starting looking more and more like an Adrian Broner. Scared to take the big fights. Then when you take the big fights, or then when you take a fight at all, you keep your hands in your pockets. But that remains to be seen. So, with that in mind, leave a comment. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. Share this video. Share these thoughts. And also join me today at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. We will go over this today. We also will be going over the great interview that Blue Blood Sports displayed yesterday with none other than DJ Derrick James, trainer coach of Earl Spence Jr., trainer coach of Jamel Charlo, and many other talents. When you know a coach, when you see a coach just dedicated like Derrick James, he works at a health club, he leaves there, and then he goes to the gym. He stays there all day. Then he go home and relax and study film. You cannot ask for a better coach of the year than Derrick James. So, there you go. Another edition of Boxing Updates. I am KQKC Boxing Networks, and this has been another edition of Boxing Updates. And once again, shout out to the almighty LDBC, shout out to New Media's Row, and shout out to Black Media's Row. Oh baby, we grinding, we working, we doing it. And that's what it's all about. So with that, I'm out of here, and I'm going to see you today at 12:30 p.m. Central Time. And I greet you with the ancient word of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Salaikum. Salam.